So today we're going to be talking about why Democrats are dropping and how much they've actually dropped when it comes to the generic ballot poll, the Trump approval rating, and how they are viewed by Americans. Let me make sure my volume's all the way up here. Yes, it is. Essentially, the Democrats are pretty down. I mean, right now they barely are holding on to a 5% lead. Actually, it's just essentially a 4% lead, but rounding it to a 5% lead. 4.6% separates the Democrats and the Republicans, whereas when we come to the Trump approval rating, right now, Donald Trump has a 43% approval rating. It's probably going to tick up to around 44, 45 in the next coming days because America has really viewed the president in a more presidential manner. Before, the Republicans were ditching him, Democrats never had him, and independents weren't really on board. And now it's coming to a point where Republicans are coming back and showing their presence in the national media, showing their presence in opinion polls, and independents are slowly turning towards the president for support, for just supporting him in general across his a mission per se in the White House. So right now, if we look at this map, clearly Democrats were at a much better standpoint before. Back in December, they had a 20% approval rating difference. Donald Trump had a negative 20%. It's a 20% difference between his approval rating and disapproval rating, 58% disapproval rating, compared to around this time when it gets to December, Democrats were at their all-time high. I mean, if you push it off into around Christmas time, Democrats had around a 13% lead nationwide, and now it's narrowed down to a 4 to 5% lead. Right now, Trump is going up, Democrats are wavering, and the Democratic Party is at an all-time low, mainly because they are no longer focusing on key issues. If we look at the 2010 congressional vote, according to opinion polls, the Republicans would have won by 9.4%. The Democrats outperformed by 3.5%, according to opinion polls. If that happens in this scenario, they still aren't going to win back the House according to these numbers. They would need to have a net win of around nearing 10% in the national popular vote in order to overcome a number of those gerrymandered districts and are able to win over a number of these key districts that are typically Republican, lean Republican, that have retiring incumbents. It's very likely that it's possible it's very likely that there is going to be a Democratic wave, but it's not going to be by the numbers we expect. If we take a look at the Senate map, right now, CNN gives the Republicans 49 seats and the Democrats 44, meaning in the best case scenario for Republicans, they could easily pick up a number of these races with very popular GOP candidates that have already either been selected or are considering running and are probably going to win the primary, giving the Republicans 56 seats. Now, they probably aren't going to win West Virginia. They're probably not going to win Florida, but that puts the Republicans 3 more ahead of where they were before the 2018 midterms. Yes, Democrats are contending Nevada. They are going to Arizona, but that still gives the Republicans 1 more seat than they already expected. So when we look at areas where the Democrats really need to stop focusing on the president, are states like North Dakota, Missouri, Tennessee, Indiana, places that Hillary Clinton was extremely unpopular, didn't even come close to carrying these states, and a number of these states were previously swing states. Disregarding Tennessee, well, maybe if you consider the 2000 election, Indiana went blue in 2008. Missouri was a couple percentage points away from going blue in 2008. North Dakota was considered a toss-up in 2008. It went to John McCain by around 9% and then went to Donald Trump by over 30%. Indiana and Missouri all went to Donald Trump over 18% of the vote in 2016. So it's going to be an uphill climb for these Democratic incumbents, but it is possible. However, right now, the Democrats are at a point where they're going to lose a number of these races. The Senate was much better for them when it came to the generic ballot poll, and it showed Democrats had by over 10%. The lead has narrowed down to 4.6%. That should worry Democrats. Typically, they underperform polls. Out of almost all the polls in 2016, Hillary Clinton didn't overperform any of them. The only one that was wrong on the Republican side was Nevada, which showed Trump ahead on Election Day, but Clinton was able to narrowly edge it out. And Democrats typically underperform. So if they're right now at 4.6% ahead of the Republicans, it might narrow down to a 1 to 2% lead. I swore I turned off that ringer. Regardless, we have Republicans currently edging themselves back up. At a point, they had maybe 36 to 35% of the vote. But it's not just Republicans edging themselves back up. It's the Democrats losing support. They went from 50% down to 44.6%. That's a net drop of around 5 to 6%, depending on how you look at it. And then we go over to these approval rating polls for the president, and they're definitely correlating. The Democrats are losing because the president is being approved of positively. So let's go to the exact date that I want to talk about. So December 28th, 2017, Donald Trump had disapproved plus 16.9 on a national scale. At this time, on December 28th, 2017, the Democrats were ahead by around 13% on the generic ballot. However, since the approval rating of the president has gone up and the Democrats have gone down, this is just a perfect storm that happened in 2016 that could easily land a Republican holding on to the Senate and the House. And looking at this, this is a typical little bit more leaning towards the liberal side, but it is the chance of the winning House majority. The Democrats have a 60% chance. It went up from 56% the other day, but it hasn't really taken into effect a number of these polls that have recently come out. A couple weeks ago or even a week ago, because these are from May 8th compared to today, May 22nd. So if we're looking at the chance of the House majority, the Democrats currently have a 60% chance of taking the House. However, looking at the numbers, it's not so good for the Democratic Party. If we look at the forecasted seat number, 226 seats. You need 218 to win a majority in the House. The Republicans clearly have more than 218 right now, and it's probably not looking so good. The Democrats are only narrowly getting over the amount that they should be getting. And if we're looking at how a blue wave could potentially impact the future of the elections, we should be talking about a Democrat pickup of around 50 seats. I mean, the same way the Republicans did if we're comparing it to 2010, but we're not, because it's not going to happen. Let's look again at the 2010 congressional vote. So the final poll showed the Republicans ahead by 15. Clearly, that's not what happened, but the average was around a 10% lead. The average is nowhere near a 10% lead for the Democrats. And then looking at the latest polls for the Democrats versus Republicans in the Texas Senate, Ted Cruz was only ahead by 3% a couple weeks ago. In the governor's race, this kind of was expected, but the governor is already nearing 50%, meaning there really is no possibility of a Democratic pickup here. People thought Texas had a changing demographic. Clearly, it's not going to be as easy as they thought. And then we're looking at the direction of the country. This one needs to be focused a lot. If we talk about right after the 2016 election, and we're looking at how this was viewed by the country. So in 2016, we had July, wrong track, 45.8%. Okay, Trump gets elected and it goes up down to a 13.9%. Then it dips a little bit, of course, as it's been going on. And then Trump's approval rating rises. And as of today, only 12.4% of the country more believes the country is going in the wrong direction compared to the right direction. Before, under the Obama administration, I'm not saying anything about the president, but there's clearly a difference between under the Trump administration and under the Obama administration. Clearly, more people negatively viewed the country at this point in time. I mean, after the whole government shutdown, after the whole, midterms occurred, and then everything. At a point, the 76.8% of the country believed we're going in the wrong track, compared to today at 52.8%. Okay, when Barack Obama left office, let's go to January 21st, 2017. Barack Obama previously just left the office the day before. 59.1% of the country believed we were going in the wrong track. And now we're down to 52.8%. The same trend is showing in the president's approval rating. I mean, compared to where he was before. Yes, he was positively viewed by a small portion of the country, but then it soon went into a disapproval rating. But now Trump is he is slowly edging himself up to around a 44% approval rating. So right now, Democrats are really down. They really need to change the way that they look at the election and how they're going to focus on certain issues, because as of right now, they're probably not going to win back the Senate, and they're probably going to have an extremely tough time winning back the House. And even if they do, it'll be like the other prediction showed, by around 8 to 10 seats, nothing like the Republican majority today, or the one that the Democrats had in the 2008 House elections. So overall, Democrats are down, probably not going to last for a little bit, but I thought this was just a little blip. The Democrats were down for just a little bit, but it's been showing consistently the Democrats are no longer in the favor of the American people by such a large margin. So the Democrats are probably going to get their lead back by around nearing double digits, but it's never going to go back to where it was in December of 2017. And that's not good news for the Democrats. So thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.